This week we're going to study sukkahs. In the school I attended as a child, the administration would perform what we call tzitzes checks, which is where they'd ask the boys to show that they're wearing their tzitzes to school, along with making sure that everyone was wearing their kippot and the girls were wearing modest clothing. The school and its administration created an enforcement atmosphere around fulfilling mitzvos. Many educators are critical of this approach, claiming that it creates a feeling of fear, stress, and anxiety around mitzvos instead of the passion and enthusiasm we prefer our students and children have towards mitzvos. The Mishnah includes a teaching that says that God gave the mitzvos to the Jewish people as an opportunity. Rechananya ben Akashya said, God desired to add merit to the Jewish people. Therefore, he increased the amount of Torah and mitzvos for them. The Jewish people are supposed to respond to this opportunity with enthusiasm. As the Rambam wrote, a person should love God with a very great and exceeding love until his soul is bound up in the love of God. He should become obsessed with God at all times, leaving all things in the world except for his love of God. This was implied by the command to love God your Lord with all your heart and all your soul. Rambam maintained that one of the most fundamental principles of Jewish philosophy and the world was that God created man's capacity to choose his destiny freely. Free will, the Rambam wrote, is granted to all men. If one desires to turn himself to the path of good and be righteous, the choice is his. Should he desire to turn to the path of evil and be wicked, the choice is his. This principle is a fundamental concept and a pillar on which the rest and the totality of the Torah and mitzvos remain. If we combine the first two ideas, the need to love God passionately and man's capacity for free choice, the conclusion becomes easy, that a person should choose to fulfill mitzvos with passion and not with fear, stress, and anxiety. Encouraging mitzvah fulfillment and not forcing it would be the preferable path to teaching mitzvos. Yet, the Talmud quoted this teaching. With regard to mitzvos, a person must do, for example, if the court says to someone build a sukkah and he does not do so, or fulfill the mitzvah of lulav and he does not do so, the court lashes him an unlimited amount of times, even until his soul departs, in order to force him to perform the mitzvah. This law is consistent with a well-known law in the laws of divorce, that when a man who the law requires to be compelled to divorce his wife does not desire to divorce her, the court should have him beaten until he consents, at which time they should have a get written. Rambam explained why we force someone to fulfill a mitzvah. If a person's evil inclination presses him to negate the observance of a mitzvah or to commit a transgression, and he was beaten until he performed the action he was obligated to perform, or he disassociated himself from the forbidden action, he's not considered to have been forced against his will. On the contrary, it is he himself who is forcing his own conduct to become debased. A person wants to be part of the Jewish people, and he wants to perform all the mitzvos and eschew all the transgressions. It is only his evil inclination that presses him. When he is beaten until his evil inclination has been weakened, and he consents, he is considered to have performed the mitzvah willingly. Forcing someone to fulfill mitzvos might seem to be a poor manner of encouraging mitzvos, but if it is combined with a quality education about the benefits of mitzvos, it allows a person to do the right thing. This is true of wearing tzitzes, building a sukkah, and granting a wife divorce. Mitzvos are positive vehicles for self-improvement, and a person should be encouraged to always fulfill them. What a powerful message for this sukkah. Chag Sameach.